Heyo everyone, welcome to another weekend eShop sales video. Every week here at the channel we browse through the sales together with the crew and try to find some of the best ones to show off. If this happens to be your first time here, welcome and thanks for hanging out. If you like what we do here, or we help you find a game to wish list, or maybe even save you a few dollars on a game you've never heard of before, please consider subscribing to become part of the crew. It'll also help show the channel a little love in the process. And to my friends and family that are already here with us, thanks again for hanging out for a few minutes again today. You know we truly appreciate it. Alright folks, and with all that said, let's go ahead and dive in and try to find some deals. As always, stay safe out there, and please enjoy the video. Alright, we'll start today with Azurebreak Heroes. This is a single-player action-adventure RPG offering a main story that will clock in around 3 to 5 hours to finish up, and it has a download size around 420 megabytes. The game has a top-down view and a gorgeous pixel art aesthetic, along with a great retro soundtrack as well. Now this is a 2D RPG with roguelite elements, and sees players battling otherworldly creatures, leveling up skills, and searching for a way to destroy the demonic world. There are 6 unique playable characters, random level layouts, and multiple endings, and this is a great value, right now on sale until June 9th, marked down 72%, matching an all-time low of just $199. Gancho is a single-player action platformer with a download size around 350 megabytes, and the main story will last maybe a couple of hours, but it does have some replayability which will add to the runtime. Now this is another one of those precision-based platformers where you have a special tool that allows you to move around in a unique way. This time you have a laser hook, and there are multiple playable characters, some of which you'll have to unlock before you can use them, plus each stage is randomly generated. This is another cool game like Grapple Dog, and right now if you're interested in Gancho, it's on sale until June 3rd, marked down 30% to an all-time low of just $489. Next up we have Inside. This is a single-player puzzle-style adventure game with a main story that will last roughly 3 or 4 hours, and it has a download size around 1.5 gigabytes. This is another one of my favorite games. Just like many of them in the genre, you start off alone with no rhyme or reason as to why you're in your current situation, and then of course you feel hunted and alone as you play as this young boy who finds himself on the run from a dark experiment. If you enjoy games like Little Nightmares, make sure to check this one out as it's a great entry into the genre, and it's on sale until May 3rd, marked down 90%, matching an all-time low of just $199. Jack and Hat is a single-player arcade-style platformer from 2 awesome studios with a small download size around 160 megabytes, and the main story will last roughly 7 to 8 hours to finish up. The retro look and sound are top-notch, and the game has 20 massive levels that are full of enemies, unlockables, and some pretty awesome boss fights as well. Now the game was clearly inspired by Mario Odyssey, complete with a hat that you can throw and all. It's a fun little platformer though, and if you're interested in Jack and Hat, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on June 1st. It's marked down 50%, matching a previous low of just $399. Next we have Jetboard Joust. This is a single-player retro-style shooter from Freedom Games with a small download size around 280 megabytes, and it offers dozens of hours of gameplay due to the arcade nature of the game. This is definitely an intense bullet hell style game with awesome weapons, epic boss battles, and tons of explosions. You fly around on your jetboard taking out enemies and these different behemoths, and then stealing their weapons to use on the next one. Fans of shoot 'em up should definitely check this one out before the sale ends on May 26th. It's marked down 50% to just $499, and again matching a previous low. Next up we have Karma Knight. This is a single-player action-adventure game with a download size around 1.2 gigabytes, and you can expect to get roughly 5 to 6 hours of gameplay before you finish it up. The game has a beautiful Korean setting and an intense combat system that allows you to chain together attacks to take out multiple bad guys in a row. The platforming sections work well to break up the heart-pounding action, plus you have some awesome moves that you can pull off the further you get along. This is my hidden gem for the week and definitely worth checking out. While on sale until the 26th, it's marked down 70% to a brand new low of just $269. Mahluk Dark Demon is a 2D action platformer available in local co-op for 2 players and offers a main story that will last several hours due to the extreme difficulty, and it has a download size around 450 megabytes. The game has an amazing retro look and feel to it, and has players hacking and slashing through 16 amazing levels on the way to 3 epic boss battles. There's a slight emphasis on exploration a bit, with secrets to be found along the way and upgrades to new spells that you can find as well, which you'll definitely need to master in order to take on the final boss. If you're looking for an old school platformer to play with a buddy, make sure to check this one out before the sale ends on June 9th. Right now it's marked down 80%, matching an all-time low of just $199. OkunoKA Madness is a single-player arcade-style platformer from Ignition Publishing and offers hours and hours of action, again due to the arcade mechanics of the game. The art and animation again are amazing, and there's tons of secret content to unlock as well, making this a great value when on sale. Now the game is another one of those ultra-challenging platformers, so be prepared and find your happy place if things get a bit too frustrating. There are more than 100 levels and different game modes, including a speedrun option, plus you can even unlock new playable characters as well. If you like Super Meat Boy or any of the many different games like it, definitely check this one out before the sale ends on May 26th. Right now it's marked down 70% to a new low of just $239. Alright, beat 'em up fans, Pilgrim is back on sale, and it just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper every time they put it up. The great thing here is this is a beat 'em up for 4 players with both local and online co-op. Now the main story should last roughly 5 to 10 hours, and this is one of the most fun beat 'em ups on the Switch. The animation and soundtrack are top notch, and this edition even includes all of the extra DLC as well. If you're a fan of a good beat 'em up, this one is top quality and definitely worth checking out at this price. Right now you can get the game until June 2nd, marked down 67% to a brand new low of just $489. Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption is a single-player action fighter from Neon Doctrine with a hefty download size around 18.5 gigabytes and a main story that will last roughly 6 to 8 hours to finish up. Now the game does have a Souls-like feel to it, and it does offer some RPG mechanics as well, plus the gothic setting is cool to see here on the Switch. The combat system will take a little getting used to, as well as the overall controls, but once you get them down, this is a pretty solid pickup, especially at the sale price. If you're interested in Sinner Sacrifice for Redemption, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on May 23rd. It's marked down 75%, matching a previous low of just $474. Submerged is a single-player, third-person exploration game from Uppercut Games and offers roughly 3 to 5 hours of main story gameplay with a download size around 840 megabytes. Now this one is all about exploring this mysteriously flooded city and features vast outdoor environments that are absolutely gorgeous. The game also has a time cycle that allows you to experience sunrise and sunset from atop these massive structures that are standing out of the water. You'll travel around the city using your small fishing boat along with some other nifty gadgets that you can find along the way. Now again, the game is all about exploration, and in fact it doesn't even have a combat system at all. If you're interested in Submerged, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on May 31st. It's marked down 80% to just $199. Alright folks, and as always, here are a few other games to check out while you're already on the eShop. Alright, we'll start off with 3000th Duel. This is a single-player action-adventure game from Neo Popcorn with a download size around 1.25 gigabytes, and it will take players roughly 12 hours or so to wrap up. Players will explore a huge interconnected world with more than 300 biomes and 150 different enemy types, including the bosses. Now the game is definitely a Metroidvania at its core, and the story is dark and it does enough to keep you engaged throughout the entire runtime. If you're interested in this one, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends on May 26th. Right now it's marked down 60% and matching a previous low of just $5.99. Next we have the Book of Unwritten Tales 2. This is a single-player adventure title from THQ with a download size around 6.4 gigabytes and a main story that will last more than 15 hours to finish up. In this one, we join a cast of interesting characters for a point-and-click adventure that's full of comedic moments. The game allows you to play as multiple different characters throughout, and the soundtrack is top-notch. The graphics are gorgeous, and if you enjoy a good narrative-driven game, make sure to check out the Book of Unwritten Tales 2 before the sale ends on the 27th. It's marked down 70%, matching a previous low of just $8.99. Call of Juarez, the Gunslinger edition, is a single-player arcade-style first-person shooter from Techland and offers roughly 5 to 7 hours of main story gameplay with a download size around 2.6 gigabytes. In this one, we assume the role of a ruthless bounty hunter on the trail of the West's most notorious outlaws. The main story is full of memorable moments and tells the untold truth of some of the greatest legends of the Old West. The game features gorgeous 3D environments, and the Switch version even added motion controls and HD rumble, which is always nice when we have some console exclusive editions. If you're interested in this one, be sure to grab it up before the sale ends on the 25th. It's marked down 60% to just $7.99, and again matching an all-time low. Darkwood is a single-player adventure-style RPG from Crunching Koalas and offers players roughly 25 to 30 hours of main story gameplay with a download size around 3.2 gigabytes. Now this is a challenging survival horror experience featuring a day and night cycle, randomly generated maps, a crafting system, skill trees, and a story with branching paths that you can take. Plus, on top of that, the game doesn't really rely on jump scares, rather the fear comes from the atmosphere that's created within the game. Players will need to craft items and survive while exploring during the day and find shelter at night. I know there's a lot of fans out there interested in this one, and it's back on sale until the 23rd, marked down 60%, matching a previous low of just $5.99. Dungeons of Dreadrock is a single-player puzzle-style adventure game with a small download size just under 300 megabytes and a story that should last roughly 6 to 7 hours to wrap up. Now the game has more than 100 puzzle-filled levels that ramp up as you progress through the story, and many of them require precise timing and planned movements. The retro look and sound are awesome, and the way that they sort of blend the action platforming with puzzle solving and the RPG mechanics is really cool too. If you're interested in Dungeons of Dreadrock, it's a really unique game, and right now it's on sale until the 27th, marked down 50% to a new all-time low of just $5 even. Headland is a single-player action RPG from Northplay with a download size around 500 megabytes and a story that will take just maybe a few hours to complete, but it's an emotional one that's sure to pull you in until the very end. We play as a young man named Noor as he sets out on a journey to save his home. The game is full of vibrant locations and weird enemies, plus there's all kinds of secrets and unlockables to find as you explore as well. The game is well suited for players of all ages, and the penalty for death is next to nothing, so you can pick right back up and keep going if you get overwhelmed. Now there are a few minor performance issues, but nothing that should take away from the overall fun, and right now you can pick this one up on sale until the 2nd, marked down 50% to a new all-time low of just $9.99. Next we have Monomals. This is a unique single-player action platformer with a musical twist added in. The download size comes in at just under 1.4 gigabytes, and there's tons of replay value here, so you're sure to get plenty of playtime with it for your hard-earned cash. Now this one is a mix of action-filled levels with these musical stages every now and again to mix things up. However, you can get by with the bare minimum in these parts, so if they're not really your thing, don't let it deter you from picking the game up if you're otherwise interested. If this does look like a game for you though, the port here on the Switch is on sale until the 26th, marked down 50% to a new low of just $9.99. Morbid the Seven Acolytes is a single-player action RPG with an isometric view and a stunning pixel art aesthetic. The game offers a main story that will last roughly 8 to 10 hours, and the download size comes in at around 785 megabytes. Now this is a gruesome and disturbing Souls-like game featuring epic and brutal boss battles, diverse environments, and a deeply narrative-driven story. Players will find upgrades to gear, weapons, and skills along the way as we challenge the possessed 7 acolytes with godlike powers in order to save the kingdom. Now this game again is definitely challenging, but if you're into that type of game, right now you can grab it up before the sale ends on the 31st, marked down 70%, matching an all-time low of just $7.49. Next up we have Project Warlock. This is a single-player, retro-style FPS, again from Crunching Koalas, and it offers a main story that will take roughly 8 to 10 hours to complete, with the download size just under 2.7 gigabytes. In this one, we play as a mysterious warlock who embarks on a dangerous mission to eradicate all evil. In my opinion, it's a must-buy for fans of the classic first-person shooters, and there are 60 different levels across 5 different settings, hidden keys and pathways, a bunch of different secrets that you can find, and there's even an upgrade system in place to keep you feeling more and more powerful as you face a relentless onslaught by demons from all sides. This is another tough game that offers a great challenge, and if you're up to that, make sure to pick it up before the sale ends on the 23rd. Right now it's marked down 60% and matching an all-time low of just $5.99. Skautfold Shrouded in Sanity is a single-player retro-style action-adventure title from Red Art Games with a download size around 560 megabytes, and you can expect the story to last roughly 4 to 5 hours before finishing up. Now in this one, we're tasked with exploring a huge estate, crawling with nasty enemies, and search for a way to clear the encroaching fog. The inhabitants have all gone mad, and they want nothing more than to make you dead. The game has a really cool retro look and a fun combat system, plus the dark story is pretty neat as well. Now it does have a bit of a Souls-like feel to it, and if you're interested in Skautfold Shrouded in Sanity, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on June 1st. It's marked down 35% to a brand new low of just $6.49. Next we have Trigger Witch. This is an action-adventure title from East Asia Soft and offers roughly 9 to 10 hours of main story gameplay on average with a download size around 1.2 gigabytes. The game also has local co-op for 2 players as well, which is always nice. Now it's shown from a top-down view and tasks the players with exploring an open world, searching for stronger items and weapons and interacting with some pretty strange characters. You'll have to fight your way through tough enemies and cleverly crafted environmental puzzles as you work to restore peace to the realm. Now you know I love a twin-stick shooter and twin-stick action game, so this was a no-brainer for me, plus I love the 2D look of the game as well. If you're interested in Trigger Witch, make sure to grab it up before the sale ends on June 3rd. Right now it's marked down 35% to just $9.74 and matching an all-time low. Alright folks, and as always, here are a few other games to check out while you're already on the eShop. Alright, we'll start today with Arietta of Spirits. This is a single-player, retro-style adventure RPG that tells an emotional story of a family dealing with the loss of a loved one. The main story should last roughly 5 hours or so, and the download comes in at just under 450 megabytes. The retro look combined with the original soundtrack and the fun combat system can really suck you in, and I think the game is absolutely worth a playthrough for fans of the genre. There are cool locations, tons of enemies, items, and secrets to find, and if you're interested in Arietta of Spirits, it's on sale until June 1st, marked down 35% to just $12.99. Next we have Battle Chasers Nightwar. This is a single-player action RPG with a download size around 2.6 gigabytes and the main story that will last players more than 40 hours to finish up. It features deep dungeon diving, turn-based combat, and a rich story. You'll have a huge open world to explore with hidden caves and dungeons full of secrets littered throughout. One really cool feature is that you'll have to learn to master each character's special skills in order to complete some of these random dungeons that you'll encounter. Fans of the comic series will feel right at home, as you get to form a party of 3 from the 6 playable characters, and they're all from the comics that were released back in the 90s. If you're interested in this one, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on the 27th. It's marked down 70% to just $11.99 and matching an all-time low. Next up we have Dusk Diver. This is a single-player action RPG beat-em-up with a unique story that should last roughly 15 to 20 hours to wrap up, and it has a download size around 3.3 gigabytes. Now the game does have a pretty intense combat system that can take a little bit of getting used to, but it's a lot of fun once you get it down. The characters you meet and interact with are hilarious, and the story, while being by the book, it does enough to push you forward until the end. The main star here though is the combat, and once again they nailed it. Right now it's on sale until May 23rd, marked down 70% to a brand new low of just $10.49. Evil Tonight is a single-player adventure game from DYA Games, one of our personal favorites here at the channel. The game features a top-down view and feels very much like playing an older Resident Evil, just with better controls. Now there's no hand-holding, no map. You'll have to explore and find items, secret areas, solve puzzles, and manage your inventory in order to progress through the story. Now the game itself should last roughly 10 to 12 hours or so to finish up, and this is definitely a hidden gem in my opinion. If you're interested in Evil Tonight, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on June 2nd. It's marked down 10%, matching an all-time low of just $13.49. Next up we have our new release, Gibbon Beyond the Trees. This is an action platformer from Broken Rules Interactive, and it tells the story of a lost gibbon trying to escape to freedom. It features a really cool momentum-based mechanic that allows you to swing and launch from branch to branch as you try to find the best route through each area. It offers a couple different game modes and it does have some replayability, but the main story will only last maybe an hour or two, so keep that in mind before you pick it up. However, if you are interested, right now it's on sale until June 1st, marked down 33% with an introductory price of just $10.04. Grapple Dog is a single-player, retro-style platformer with a unique movement mechanic and a story that should last roughly 10 to 15 hours to complete, with the download size just over 600 megabytes. Now the game requires super quick reaction time, but it does allow you to fly around the stages using your grapple hook to solve puzzles and collect items. The boss battles are really cool too, plus there's more than 30 levels across 6 different worlds that you can explore as well, so there's plenty of content on offer here. If you're interested in Grapple Dog, it's on sale until the 23rd. Right now it's marked down 25%, matching a previous low of just $11.24. Next up we have Mega Man 11. This is the newest entry in the very popular and long-running franchise. With this entry we have all new mechanics, amazing levels and boss battles, plus the main campaign has tons of replayability as always. Now as I mentioned, there's all new mechanics and we have the new double gear system that does take a little getting used to, but allows you to pull off some cool moves once you get it down. On top of that, there's an easy mode for newcomers to jump in and start learning, and if you enjoy a good platform shooter, make sure to check out Mega Man 11 before the sale ends again on the 23rd. It's marked down half off, matching a previous low of just $14.99. Next up we have Pode. This is a puzzle-style adventure game from publisher Henchman & Goon with a main story that will take roughly 4 hours or so to complete, and it's available for 2 players and local co-op. Actually, the game was designed with couch co-op in mind, and it really is a blast if you have a friend or sibling to play with. Now it's a story about a rock and a fallen star solving puzzles together in a stunningly beautiful world. You'll explore an ancient cave system to uncover the hidden secrets, and you can even combine the 2 characters' special moves together to overcome some of the tougher puzzles. If you're interested in Pode, make sure to check it out before the sale ends again on the 23rd, marked down 50% to just $12.49, matching a previous low. Next up we have Raging Loop. This is a single-player narrative-driven adventure game that plays out basically like a visual novel. It has tons of content on offer, and the main campaign should last players more than 30 hours to finish up, with a download size just over 900 megabytes. In this one we play as a young man that's recently moved into a secluded village that has a horribly scary secret. They nailed the horror with this one, and the game even has multiple endings as well, plus a unique spin on the New Game Plus format. If you're interested in Raging Loop, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends again on the 23rd. It's marked down 50%, matching a previous low of just $14.99. Subnautica is a single-player adventure game that takes place on an alien planet that's covered in water. The game has a download size around 5 gigabytes, and the main campaign can last more than 40 hours to wrap up. After we crash land on the planet, there's no option but to explore and learn to craft and ultimately try to survive. Now as you build up your underwater base and progress through the story, you'll begin to uncover what happened on the planet in the past that left it in its current state. As far as performance, the game can struggle on occasion on the Switch, but if you're interested in Subnautica, be sure to pick it up before the sale ends on the 27th. It's marked down 50%, matching a previous low again of just $14.99. Next up we have The Legend of Tianding. This is a single-player side-scrolling beat-em-up with a download size around 1.7 gigabytes and a main story that will last roughly 6 hours or so to finish up. It has a unique comic book art style that looks great on the Switch, and the action is fast-paced. As it should be, the combat system is the best part of the game though, and this one allows you to use martial arts to perform devastating attacks and combos for some really cool moves. The game is steeped in Taiwanese lore and probably doesn't get enough credit as it's a fantastic beat 'em up, and right now it's on sale again until the 23rd, marked down 33%, matching an all-time low of just $13.39. Vigil: The Longest Night is a single-player 2D action RPG with a precision-based combat system and a strong narrative. The game was heavily inspired by games like Salt and Sanctuary and Castlevania, and it has a download size around 5.2 gigabytes. In this one, we play as a young girl named Layla on her quest to save her hometown from the creeping evil infesting the surrounding countryside. You have multiple different weapons to master, a complex skill tree, the boss battles are awesome, plus there's different endings as well. If you're interested in Vigil: The Longest Night, make sure to check it out before the sale ends on May 23rd. It's marked down 40%, again matching an all-time low, and this is a great game. Alright folks, and as always, here are a few other games to check out while you're already on the eShop, as well as some DLC that's on sale. Alright folks, that's going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode, but be sure to keep an eye out for more sales lists and daily deal videos over the weekend. Please like, share, and all that stuff, sub if you're new, and as always, you know you're legendary if you made it this far. Much love to you all, little man take us home.
That's all for today's list. We hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing and liking down below. Okay, bye!